Right, it's another episode of Hot Take Point Made. These happen more frequently than you'd realise, wouldn't they? Well, there's a good reason for that. I mean, the problem with that is I just realised that makes us sound like sellouts. Not just because of the ads and the fact that we can now make money potentially. It's also because it's nice to have a regularly scheduled show. Also, I do think the flaw this show had was, in theory, before we could schedule it whenever, but that also meant we could let too many spicy weeks go by where things were definitely happening. We didn't always cook. So we're back. It's your favourite trio, your favourite comedic / entertainment trio since Seinfeld. So obviously I would be, I don't know, Jerry, the vaguely normal one, a little bit of social skills, a little bit probably too full of himself, thinks he's funnier than he is, but he does get that validation from the crowd, with his wacky cadre of friends here. We've got Maui, that's obviously George. He's just coming in, this little wacky guy, trying to come up with all schemes, get away with it as usual, but because he's George, everyone just hits on him anyway in the community and his reputation remains poor. Who knows how that works? But George did once work for the New York Yankees, so let's see where Maui's career might indeed go eventually. Then we've got Kassad here, obviously Kramer. He just comes bursting in. Are you insane, Jerry? What, George? It never worked. George. It's like, he's just coming in with all his crazy ideas. He knows Newman, my enemies. Don't know who would that even be? Whatever, the guy from the Serbian guy from HLTV, that could be him knowing Newman, I guess. Some nerd motherfucker that I don't agree with on the other side of the building. And then what you're all wondering is, well, Thorin doesn't work, does it? Where's Elaine? Elaine's obviously last Free Nation. On some level, I'm sure she's important, but she didn't really need to be on all the shows, did she? That's a hot take in itself if you're actually a fan of Seinfeld. Because here's the thing, some of the character, Elaine's lines were funny and she had some good storylines, but she wasn't as essential as the other three, was she? And
you need a pretty face. You need a pretty face.
True.
And she's a good actor, though. I do like it.
Okay.
She's all right.
Well, the joke is, if I ever did need to make a fourth hot take point made, and I needed to make it Elaine, we could obviously bring Donna in, couldn't we? Because then she could do that whole thing where, in the same way as Kassad will always attempt to big bro Maui, because Kassad was a coach and Maui's just an analyst or whatever. Obviously, Donna could just do that whole thing where it's like in this analogy, we're never allowed to really fully know anything about the game unless, I don't know, Nexa agrees or something. Who the fuck knows? No one really knows how she gets her information. It's all. I even found out the other day, that her actual name is fucking Donna or something. Her actual real name isn't even Donna. It's not even actually Donna. What? Do I even know you? Who are you? What's going on here? Is that even your real hair colour? Who even knows? By the way, these are also questions you don't ask women. I'll just give you a pro tip right there if you're the kids out there. So anyway, Donna aside, which also makes it sound like she's the online version of Donna, but whatever. So let's start the episode. Kassad, do you have a spicy take?
Oh, I take the lead on this one.
You can if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll do it. I was thinking new angles to approach towards Falcons. And where do I see him? And
you have to understand, Maui, he is a generational hater. Well, they just come second. They almost won an event. Fuck, it's kind of hard to hit on him. Then he just goes into the lab, come on, let's listen, we've got to figure out some angle. And what way was coming second? Actually, shit, come on then. What's the new angle to hit on?
The thing is, I was thinking, where do I go with this? Which one should I take? And I'm going to say today is the March 3rd of 2025.
Right? Oh, God, it's going to be a prediction. Get ready. It's going to be some sort of in 6 months.
Ready, Maui. That in the next 12 months.
Why are they always so far away?
Yeah. I want to do till the end of the year.
No, it's
we're gonna have this show.
Listen, it's good for you, but it's so hard to remember those. In 1 year.
If you want to put it
no, make it a year. Go on. At the end of the year.
Yeah, at the end of the year, Falcons will not win a single event, or better yet, they won't be in a single final of a big event, right?
Okay.
That assumes that they're going to be teams that are on the top, Spirits, Navis, and all this thing. Because I was looking at their lineup, and the thing is, I don't see a way they can do it. No matter who they bring, the Monacy, pipeline is, destroyed. I don't think he's joining there because everybody's talking about this CIS, Russian, whatever team it's, right? So I take that any way you like it. But the thing is, with this lineup, I don't see them getting close to winning a proper event where there's top 3 teams, top 5 teams are playing. Okay. They have Dexter, who I would probably replace, and I was going to make this into a hot take, but I kind of switched to this one, that they should have kept some Pius in the lineup and then remove Magisk, but bring Shush together with Tessis and Kixon, right? Okay. So they would still have the core from Heroic, plus some Pius, plus Nico, right? Some Pius right now is more experienced player than Dexter. He played a lot of big events and a lot of like top 4, top 6, top 8 finishes with Ents, and then last year was it whatever. On the other side we have Dexter, who was in Spirit, right? And then he got removed from Spirit or whatever happened there. Then he was in the OG as a stand-in. They had one good event, then he was a player, then they had problems after that. Then he went on a long ass break, came back to Heroic, then had Ibiza issues, all these issues that he couldn't attend. All of a sudden he's in Falcons and everybody expects for him to be like this guy that's gonna win the titles and all these things. Like, I don't think that's happening. Sampaio is more experienced in CS2 by far. I think Sampaio is a big game player as well. Like, that's just the angle of Sampaio's Dexter, right? They should have kept, Sampaio instead of Magisk. And that just shows me that Zonic is kind of fumbling on this one simply because he decided to keep Magisk, and he wasn't really realistic on the fact that he's not the player that he used to be, not even close that people expect him to be. But overall, with this core, with this lineup, till the end of the year, the only thing that can get them close to any kind of meaningful win is Nico, right? He is having a good year, good opener of the year, probably one of the best so far, but it's just still 2 months. They have, what do they have in terms of events coming up? That's Pro League. The only team missing there is FaZe. Everybody else is there.
Blast
Spirit,
Open.
Vitality, Na'Vi, Blast. Then everybody else is there, like including FaZe and all other teams.
Yeah.
PGL Bucharest. That's the what do you call it? The event that kinda can be good for them, but I don't see them, winning it. Melbourne, everybody is there. Vitality, FaZe, Na'Vi, everybody else, like Maus, even now, who won the last event, whatever. Then we have Dallas, and then Major after that, or in between, I don't know where it is. So overall, I don't see them winning in this season at all. Then the next season will come with probably some changes, possibly some changes. Then the start and the new adaptation, and before you know it, it's be the end of the year. I don't think they're going to be a contenders for any kind of titles. Top 8 team, sure, maybe even top 6, top 10 for sure, but beyond that, no titles, 0. Big old potato.
What do you think, Maui?
They obviously just got to a grand final. This event was clearly a bit weaker than some of the other events that they're going to be playing, but the take is that they're not going to make a grand final in the next 12 months. I would go
We deducted it to the end of the year because
just
Duncan
end of the
was
year.
crying.
Okay, end of the year. Sure, end of the year. 9 months. I mean, no, I think they'll make a grand final. I think they'll make another grand final again.
Where?
And I say
Tell
this.
me.
I say this almost entirely because Nico can will a team deep into tournaments, and I've seen it happen before. Dude, he won Dallas last year with Monacy was obviously playing pretty well, but that was kind of like 2v8. If I'm being mean, I'm being facetious
No,
here.
Stu,
But it's
you had really bad stats, mate. Really bad stats, yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, Stewie and Nexa were doing really badly,
that's legit.
and yet they still got there. And reminder, that was CS2, so it's not like this is like some CSGO holding on to the past or anything like that. Like, he's doing incredible work in this game. And even I would even go as far to say, like, what he did at the World Finals and the Fall Finals, winning those tournaments. Sure, they're shorter than what we have in the current VRS sort of landscape, but I also think that Falcons is going to upgrade probably after the Austin Major. There's so many different places they could go with it. I think they could go. I mean, if you actually can grab somebody that's a better anchor than Magisk, first of all, I think that's probably like 10 anchors in the world. So I think that's not even a hard ask. And if you
Tell me, name it.
I mean,
just do a few.
Okay,
just you don't have to do all.
Just
Okay.
you don't have to do 10, but like 4.
Do a few.
Okay.
That they can legitimately bring. There's not been 4 names that are better than Magus. Just tell me that who they can bring that's viable option, right, in terms of transfer.
Okay, you could get, if I'm just saying Yimpat's better than him. I actually literally think Stare is better than him now. I think that let's see. Who else could you get? I mean, if you want to go to the really high achieving teams, there are people there too. I mean, I don't think you're going to get anybody like Rops. I don't know how long Mezzi's been on his deal, but he would be better than Magisk today pretty easily, actually. If Liquid is at any point falling apart, just grab like Math or something.
Basically, he said two names and one was Stare. All right.
Okay, I mean, I think that there's just a lot of options. I'll say that.
Once you said Stare, then like the whole argument is kind of fucking pointless at that moment because Stare is not even
good.
top 50.
He's a good player,
I think you could.
Yeah.
What is it? Is Eras Doce an anchor? I think he's better than Magisk. I think
names now.
Dude, I just think that there's a lot of people better than Magisk now.
Steve from the supermarket, he's there as well. Like he works at the gas station. My friend Bob, he can be also. Is that how low you value Magisk? I know he's like I said, he's not what he used to be, but I wouldn't say Aros Doze or Aris Dice or whatever the fuck you said.
Aros Doce was getting to the. Aros Doce was
there, Chief. For fuck's sake.
Aras Doce was carrying Saw's asses to the semifinals of Cologne. Yeah, I think he's better than Magisk.
Yeah, one event in fucking 57 that they played.
Yeah, when is what's the last event Magisk has carried anybody at? Like,
what but you said like
2018, 2019?
I know.
Like this is pre-COVID. The last time Magisk carried was pre-COVID.
I know they can do this.
Listen, I can't lie.
The bottom line is like we agree on the fact that she's not good. But I think
it just means right now he would current form he would replace him. By the way, any time in an argument you could say that was pre-COVID, that's a pretty good line because that was ages ago. So, like, that's pretty good. That's not bad. That was half a decade ago.
Yeah, it's just a long time since I've seen him do
when you say it like that. Half a decade ago.
Anything else? Anything else, Maui?
I just think that they could get to a grand final because Nico's amazing. Like I don't know why for the last two podcasts I've been the one that's like been on Nico's side and kassad's been against him. It's like roles have reversed here.
No, I'm against the fucking lineup of Falcons. I'm not against Nico.
My problem is I actually agree with you, Maui, and I'll even phrase it in a more succinct manner. Like the simplest argument as to why it probably will actually happen, in my opinion. Look, I don't know if they'll win a tournament. They have a very hard time. There's a lot of BO5 finals now. But here's why I think they'll actually do at least one final, kassad. Because essentially, in the modern formats, there's two reasons why. One of the reasons why these shows are actually super spicy at the moment is after you get past the like 2 or 3 elite teams, it's wide open right now with CS, mate. When you go like positions 4 to like 9 or 12, it's like, holy fuck, bro. It's like the seeding is what's going to decide who wins those matches. Like if you put position 6 against position 11, like that's not like in the old days, it'd be like a 1.5 odds on the one that's fucking number 6. Like now it just depends on the map pool and what the players are, mate. So, like, remember, we're in a world where Monacy might be in a team that's going to be like fucking 8th in the world or something, mate. Like, it's outrageous now. So, not only does it mean loads of people in group stages can beat each other, which means, in my opinion, it gets easier to fluke you out of a group stage. But when you get to the playoffs, in most playoff formats, essentially, Maui's just saying Nico could just carry 2 BO3s. It's like he just did it this tournament. Like, that's not even that much to ask, mate. By the way, because of the scuffed seeding too, what if just one tournament, my first BO3, I only need 2 to get to a final, kassad. What if my first BO3 is like Mongols or some fucker who just keeps choking on stage? There's one for free. Boom, got that one out the way. Then in the next one, I play against... Pick it. As long as it isn't Na'Vi, Vitality, and Spirit, it's doable, mate. If it's FaZe, doable, just saw that. If it was Eternal Fire, doable, just saw that. If it was Team Liquid, it's totally plausible they could beat them. So my problem is I think it could happen just by virtue of whatever Nico and 2. It's just not that hard to make a playoff at the moment. Like, I think it's way harder when it's like, you know, you have the top 3 teams, then the 4 after that are super sick, then there's 4 after that keep, like, gatekeep everyone. I don't think we have that at the moment in CS. Like, look, I do think Falcons is flawed, but I don't go as crazy on the Dexter angle. Like, to me, the 2 reasons I'm worried about Falcons is, 1, they still don't have a very good map pool. Like, right now, I'd have a really hard time telling you what actual 2 maps could I consistently bet on this team to win on. Because, by the way, they pick a fuck ton of dust too, and I'm not even sure they're actually that good on that map. Like, as far as I can tell, they really have the cynical CS2 takeoff. A lot of the maps they're winning right now, that's just because, like, fucking Dexter and Tessis had, like, a slightly better performance than normal, and Nico carried. Like, that's what wins you the maps. And that's, like, this reminds me of when Nico was in G2, when I would see them winning, like, T-half on Ancient and be like, that wasn't even a good T-half. They just shot people in the head with AKs. Like, what am I even doing here? So I think, unfortunately, like, they do have flaws, but I just think in the current climate, unless everyone gets way better, I think they'll just trip over and make it there. I don't think it'll matter how good Dexter is or how good fucking Meg is, because I think Nico's enough, and then also anyone else joins in. You see it from Tessis, you see sometimes Dexter has a bigger game. You can get it done.
Oh, man, that's a lot of ifs. If I get the Mongols, if I get the fucking this, if this guy plays, that's a lot. But I fucking play the lottery then.
You're making it sound like I made it way more extreme. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm going to a playoffs, kassad, right? And then in this scenario, as long as it's not a Swiss and I come 3-2 and then you come 3-0, I don't have to play the top team. Let's say I do the 3-1 result where I can play another 3-1 team, right? In that world, I can be playing Mongols, Eternal Fire, Team Liquid. These are all totally viable first round draws.
But you are also assuming that both like Spirit and Vitality and the Navi are going to go 3-0, which is not possible.
No, here's the thing.
Mathematically,
here's the key thing, kassad. Remember, the key thing here is I'm not saying this will happen every tournament. I only need it to happen to one tournament. You need it to not happen every tournament. That's the problem you have. It has to never happen.
That's why it's a hot take.
It is, okay. I'll give you that. By the way, he's actually correctly, Maui, identified the concept of the show. He came with his fucking mild-ass little take, but then he knew that technically, if he sort of read the room, it was a hot take. That was his get out the whole time. When at the end,
we are evolving in this show, evolving into something great.
Okay, we're evolving. All right, I get it.
All right, who is next? Maui, is it you?
Well, before we get into my take, I'm just going to say that, we've had some pretty bad takes. Maybe we already just had one, and I think we need to keep the stench away.
Okay.
We had
and so okay. I just have to remind everybody, kassad, I have to remind everybody that to keep the stench away, we're sponsored by Mando, and that you, as a viewer of the show, have a great opportunity to keep the stench away, maybe from the takes, or maybe your own bad takes that you have all over Twitter, as you guys are posting insane things to us in our reply section. Some of us still read those, some of us don't, but I know that I've lost sleep over some of how bad these takes smell. Okay. So either way, just go onto the website, shopmando.com, shopmando.com, use promo code HOTTAKE, and you can get the Mando starter pack, which is perfect for new customers. I've actually used every single product of this starter pack, and they've all run out. I've actually used absolutely everything to death. And that starter pack comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, such as a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, which are great if you're just sitting at your computer all day. And it has free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off of the starter pack with our exclusive code. Once again, that is HOT TAKE, one word, which is a 40% off of your starter pack. And once again, that is at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. So support the show and smell a little bit better, and maybe you'll have less stinky takes.
Okay.
Hey, listen, like the deodorant, that's all great, but like any creams and anything like that,
it's not your vibe.
Too girly. It's too girly for me.
Well, in that case, maybe there will be watching. You can also enjoy the creams that can be used everywhere. And also, by the way, I will actually say, I do actually think that the wipes are the most underrated. Well, the 2 underrated thing, if you're a gamer, is one, it keeps away like the body odor for like 72 hours or something ridiculous. You don't even have to remember to use it every day. And then 2, the wipes, you really can just use them everywhere. You just keep them like next to your computer. So if you're at your computer all day, too busy, there you go.
I know what you're using.
There you go. Right.
Next to your computer, yeah.
Right. I've got a hot take for you.
Okay.
Hey, go on. This is going to make you mad.
Go for it.
This is going to make you mad. If Yanko was here, Yanko would just actually steal your trademark and say, "Are you insane?" So you ready? Here's the hot take. At the end of 2025, HLTV, I'm phrasing this very carefully, I don't miss, motherfucker, HLTV.org will rank Shiro as the number 3 player of the year.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I'll just let that one settle me. It's sort of baking you. Yeah, I love it. It's baking your noodle already, isn't it? Because what's great is your brain's rebelling against that fact, kassad. Your brain's going, yeah, but he won't be the 3rd best player of the year, Thorin. And also, what, he's going to be better than Monacy, is he? What, he's going to be better than Nico, is he? And no, my friend. I never said that at all. But what I did say is that HLTV.org will rank him as better than those players. So here's
like the relevant one.
So here's what will happen. Donk will be number 1. That's easy. Everyone has eyes, as long as they don't fuck up the tournaments. Dima will be number 2. Vitality's pretty fucking good roster. Looks like they're going to be a lot of finals. Then the problem you have is those 2 names, Nico and Mauisnake. I think Mauisnake's team right now is scuffed. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. If he leaves the team, by the way, who even knows if he'll be on the top 20? He'll have to get into the right roster immediately. I think G2's going to be shit. I don't think they're going to get a lot of high placings. It's going to be really hard if you're like 5th to 8th in tournaments to even get like the EVPs and shit. Then on Nico, you just did it yourself. You don't even think Falcons is going to be in a final, mate. Like, they could easily just be a playoff team that doesn't do it. Again, I know how these people operate. If you're the guy who makes like a bunch of playoffs, but you play like a 4th as many games, the problem is Shiro and Spirit are very likely going to be in loads of finals. They're going to be either the team or the second best team of the year. Shiro's going to get his numbers. He's a really fucking consistent baseline player. I think he only, quite frankly, tends to get wrecked when he plays against, like, you have to play like a Zewo or something like that for this guy to get beaten. He's got that device thing where I do think he beats all the AWPers below him pretty much. And so I think at the end of the year, the problem is right now, the other big names that you all want to go there, like, look, Rops is going to win rounds, but is he going to really have numbers better than Shiro? Probably not. I think numbers-wise, it's funny because it's a good hot take because everyone would think it's nonsense to begin with. But I think if you just look at the current landscape of the year, I think this is one thing that can end up happening. And also, there's so few AWPers that are even trying to be in this category. So it's like, this guy's always going to have the AWP in his fucking teammate. Donk isn't the guy who goes, give it to me. Like, he just picks it up if it's a secondary AWP. Like, this guy's going to be fed up. By the way, he also has Magix, which is OP as fuck, because Magix is literally the guy, like, I am Sanji. Do you want to have an AWP, sir? Like, he gets you the AWP all the time. So I actually think I've got this one squared away. That's why I just left it out there to begin with. So what do you think, boys?
But it's just like, listen, he presented it like it's some sort of fucking fiery fucking hot.
If you posted that sentence with no explanation, kassad, I'll do it now if you want. After this fucking show, biatch, I'll post on Twitter. I'll then people have to watch the show.
Yeah, but listen,
I'll put it on there. Let's see the response. Everyone's going to go mental, mate. Everyone's going to go mental.
Because they're all stupid. The thing is, like, nobody is thinking. The thing is, like, if you think he's already number 4.
Yeah, but I think people rebelled against that. But I think, here's what's funny, because I think a lot of people actually in a similar camp to you and Yanko think he's like a bit overrated, or he's just getting by with play with Donk or something. So I think a lot of people think he's overrated a bit.
I think he's properly rated. It's just that his style is not very appealing. Okay. That's the thing. His style is not like, fucking Vince Carter dunking when he was playing for Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, but here's what's funny. When you're just the guy watching for fun, kassad, I'm sure maybe his style isn't what you think so great. But what's mad is, I bet you would fucking love this guy if you were coaching his teammate. I bet you would fucking love the way he plays.
Yes, absolutely.
Super consistent, does all the right shit. Yeah.
Yeah, skill-wise, like, all that's fine. The thing is, like I said, he's like Nikola Jokic, right?
Okay.
Like, he doesn't have flashy shit sometimes left and right, but he's putting, like, just insane numbers, like above any standard, right? The only one that can match him or top him are Zaivu and Donk and possibly Nico, right? And then him being in front of like Nico on that one can happen simply because I think the reason you stated is the fact that they can play more like deep. They have more deep runs in the tournaments, finals, titles, whatever, depending on the team itself. Falcons cannot do that.
That's why it's a great hot take. Like, you have to understand, in your analogy, I'm with you. Maybe he is one of these like European white guys who doesn't move so sick. But the problem is you're hyping fucking Ja Morant. That's like, St. Pius, Ja is here.
Yes, exactly. I went a little bit like old school with Vince Carter, but Ja Morant is like,
who gives a fuck? Get out my fucking server.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, like, can he be number 3 at the end of the year on HLTV? Yes.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, he can.
Get ready for the meltdown when he is, motherfuckers. Get ready.
He might even be. Like, the thing is, like, it all depends how the team performs, but team is almost guaranteed to perform in a lot of high placings, right?
Yeah.
Simply because of Donk, right? But then again, you're counting out Nico and Mauisnake, which are fucking, players on their own, like,
I'm counting out their teams. Understand, I've never counted those two out. But I'm counting out their teams. You can bet your ass on that.
Yes, exactly. The G2 team is like, nobody knows what the fuck is going on there. I don't think they know it themselves, simply because of Mauisnake's contract.
Bro, I'm not even trolling. I actually think it's good that G2 didn't go to that Cluj, mate, because they could have actually gotten like beaten way earlier there and looked really badly. Yeah. That's an example of a team where you should decline the invite.
Mauisnake doesn't know what his contract is going to be like or where he's going to end up. That will decline his performance automatically.
Potentially, yeah.
He doesn't have Nico. He has Malbs, who is saying that he wants to think like Nico. That's the stupidest thing I've heard in the last couple of months. You think for yourself, and you fucking play with your fucking skills that you have, and you have them.
By the way, guys, I want you to imagine like one of those women's advice books, Maui, where it's like how to think like a man. And there's a book called How to Think Like Nico. It's written by Aleksandar, Kassad, whatever his name is, right? And when you open it, your cover just says like How to Think Like Nico. You open it, right? And that what he just said there was the preamble to the book. It's like, you want to think like Nico, you fucking idiot. You can't even do that. You get, what the fuck is this shit? Like, you just
I want to think like Nico. What the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck is that? You want to think like Malbs, like yourself.
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
It's just
it's such a literal take as well. I know.
And then,
all right. Yeah.
And then the Falcons, obviously. Yeah, go for it.
Let me chime in on Thorin's take of him being 3. I mean, I went through what I would rank the 20 best performing players of the year so far, and I had Shiro at number 3 actually. It was like a 2 months of the year so far, because the contest for me, at least this early in the year, is he better than Bit, and is he better than kind of like Xantar is? But him and Bit were super close in my ranking, and I think that because of team success, I lightly rated Shiro above. If I really wanted to make, I kind of have to like iron out, do I really want to make this a little bit more about the individuals or more about the team success? I don't think my list that I try to do, I don't try to make it as much about team success versus individuals as HLTV does, but it's still very hard to move away from that. And I think that any ranking system that ranks players at the end of the year, it's just really hard to put somebody like Elige last year higher than 15th, for example, because he never played in a playoffs. And that's kind of my problem with some of the people that I think are going to be, that should be individually above Shiro. Like m0NESY was way lower on my list. Like, yeah, it's early, and I know people are just going to have like these knee-jerk reactions, but like, actually, this in itself should just be a hot take. It's just like m0NESY through 2025 so far has not been a top 10 player.
No, he hasn't been particularly good, man.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like no sample size to say something like that. But
no, it's true.
Well, yeah, it's just, I mean, it's 2 months, and it's they've only played 2 tournaments really. So yeah, it's super early, but in a way I just see Thorin's prediction coming through because of the HLTV metrics, which we're now all so familiar with. In a way, actually, I like that HLTV's gone this way, just kind of like as a meta point, is that I like that HLTV is kind of predictable now. It's like, okay, if I saw a guy that won like 7 MVPs throughout a year and his team won 6 championships, he's going to be number 1 player in the world. It's very predictable like that. I think that's good. And I think that if someone has like a similar amount of hardware after the year's over in terms of winnings, but then there's one guy that we think like, oh, but he was really good, but the team didn't always go that far. The guy that had more proven results is going to be HLTV's number 2 instead of the guy we're like unsure about. And I think that it's just better that it's a little bit more, I guess, objective. I mean, you're creating the standards for this kind of ranking, but I think that it's overall a very reasonable take. But it's just one that like the headline is like Shiro will be the number 3 player of the year. That's where it's interesting, because it's like I don't think anyone.
That's what really he meant for. That's his whole pitch.
But that's like why the headline's good for this one. But it's like it's just sobering that it's like, this is kind of how they do this.
Yeah.
That is how they rank these things. Like,
by the way, if you notice, I'm even sort of cheating, because even though I'm saying HLTV, everyone will forget that part as soon as I say 3rd and say I'm saying he's the 3rd best player in the year. So it works as a double whammy on this one.
Yeah, of course. But like I think Xantaras is better than Shiro. I think Nico's better than Shiro. I feel like m0NESY, even without the deep runs, is going to show me that he's better than Shiro this year. But like, is HLTV really going to go against the results, which I'm sure Spirit are going to have? Probably not. Well, actually, I'm not sure they're going to have it, which can lead me to my take.
Well, go for it.
Okay.
Anti-Spirit take. Okay, hit me with it.
Yeah, this is one. It is an anti-Spirit take, but it's for a very simple reason. It's for a very simple reason that people didn't really pick up on. And this is one of the classic. I gotta have one of these per year. Okay, I gotta have like one take that's just like out of absolutely nowhere.
Where's this going? Come on.
So in Chinese astrology, essentially in Chinese mythology,
right? Buckle in, get everyone get buckled
in Chinese mythology, okay, like the way that the Chinese zodiac works. the year of the dragon was February 10th, 2024. And that's when it started. And Katowice was won by Spirit in the following days, like a couple days later. I think it was February 12th, 2024. In the middle of that, they won Katowice, they won the Blast Spring Finals, they won the major itself, and they actually won the Blast Bounty, which was, I think it was January 26, 2025. The Year of the Dragon actually began 2 days before they won Katowice, and it ended a couple days after they won the Blast Bounty. So because it is no longer the Year of the Dragon, Spirit will not win any tournaments.
Because their logo's a dragon.
Yes, exactly.
He finished it up with the Spirit. What?
Spirit won't win any tournaments this year. Spirit won't win any tournaments. They'll make some they'll have some deep runs, but their year's over. Their year's over, unfortunately.
Well, funnily enough, Maui didn't, in fact, drag on. He just was very succinct there, kassad. So
because kassad actually just left.
It's over. It's okay. Why has he got props?
Where has this gone, bro?
No. This is what I think about it.
Why has he got props?
Are you fucking insane?
Why do we have props? We have prop comedy now. We have this.
Did you fucking say Spirit won't win any events this year?
Yeah, because of their logo, its relation to the Chinese zodiac.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, kassad.
Believe it or not, kassad,
the tea leaves have spoken.
I don't believe it was an entirely serious take, believe it or not, kassad. There was a bit of irreverence sort of baked in there,
I am... Is your logic based on just astrology? Or
that's it.
It's purely astrology. Yeah, it's purely Chinese zodiac. They'll make grand finals. They'll have deep runs, but their year's over.
Where are you again? What are you home? Which city?
What city?
I'm in LA right now.
Oh yeah, I already sent you the address. Okay. I see you didn't check it out.
Okay.
No, but seriously, how do we approach? Do we approach this like joking or serious?
Okay, here. I'll give an actual reason on top of it.
Oh, okay. There's a real reason. Okay.
I'll give a real reason where we can reverse engineer and just try to find some logic for this. Okay, Spirit obviously have two world-class players in Shiro and Donk. Donk is still transcendent. He's, to me, light years above every other player in terms of rifling right now. Shiro, very complimentary piece. Incredible. Yes, this is the preamble to the fact that I'm saying they're playing with three guys that really haven't... I mean, other than Magix's pop-off in the grand finals of the major, we're playing with three other guys that, in many ways, are not up to snuff when it comes to the other competition. Like, they're not a well-rounded team. Compared to a Vitality, for example, where every single player is now, at this point, top 5 in role. Like, obviously, Zywoo's top 5 in role. Say Flames is, Rops is... Even Mezzi has now shown me so much as an anchor. And then back to my claim, Apex is the best in-game leader in the world. Much more well-rounded team overall. And then I even think about some of the teams that are behind Spirit right now and their ability to catch up. It's kind of my point that I've made early on with Eternal Fire is that like Eternal Fire started the season because they had good tactics, good chemistry, but then everybody else is catching up because they just have better players. Like Navi's a more well-rounded team than Spirit, for example. I think FaZe have the potential to pass them.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's not even close to normal, to like any kind of reality. What you just said, like the Navi's more rounded team than absolutely zero sense.
They're more well rounded. They might not be better in every aspect.
They're fucking chance at all. But yeah, go for it. Go finish it up.
And it's just that Spirit are too top heavy in that regard, and I feel like other teams have more weapons to get through these tournaments with.
You need medication. That's the first thing. Any kind of medication would be sleeping pill, something.
Well, the only problem I don't get with that is, like, it was a reach. Like, the first part was funny. The part about the Chinese zodiac was good. Because also, if you notice, he did tie it to the fact it doesn't begin, like, on January the 1st. It sort of runs, like, slightly outside of the dates. And if you look at that, it sort of encompasses both the kind of Itza wins, which is kind of a funny angle. Like, that's actually pretty legit. But obviously, the whole angle of, like, the bunch of waffle about it. Vitality is really good. That's not just going to mean Spirit can't win a tournament, is it? Like, that's just obviously fucking bollocks, isn't it? And spoiler,
well, I'm going to counter it.
Even if you do the whole, like, they've got two world-class players, even say world-class almost, like, fucking, like, sneaks down Donk's level. Like, Donk can just he can almost do the shit I hate because it makes idiot fans have really stupid narratives. He almost can, Maui, it feels like, win at will, which I do hate because they think that, like, that is what star players do in the game. So, God, he wants it more, whatever. Which is you have to notice. You have to want it more and be like transcendently or generationally great.
You know
in the game.
what's the funniest?
But he kind of can do it.
You know what is the funniest thing?
Go on.
That 20 minutes ago he said Nico can carry them into the finals with this team, easily. Like that's gonna happen. Okay. But now when you have double the Nico, 2 world-class players. Okay. And they're currently number 1 and the best team. They won't win anything.
I appreciate the idea, kassad, instead of just using... instead of using world-class player, his unit of a world-class player is 1 Nico. That's actually the system he's applying there. He's giving away a lot about his sort of internal psychology. They have double Nico. This is unfair.
Exactly. Your unit is 1 Nico.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
Just address the Chinese zodiac part of it, okay?
Yeah. Think about that. Some biases. He's not 0.75s of an Nico. So,
Yeah. It's better than, Dexter. He's 0.6.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
No, but the serious thing, they're going to be playing every event they wish to play, right? They are invited to everything based on the current rankings, the points, whatever the system, right? They can choose whatever they want to play, how much they want to rest, how much they want to practice when they do bootcamp. That's a luxury that not many teams have in this moment. Maybe a couple of them. That's, Vitality, them, and maybe 1 or 2 more, right? They can actually choose easily without any consequences what they will play, which puts them in a great advantage over other teams. They have the 2 Nikos, right, in the team. In Shiro and Donk, they have a great support with a hard anchor and a soft anchor and a solid IGL on top of a coach who is, really good at this moment. And they also, play well together, saying that the number 1 team right now, thinking about it at least, that the number 1 team in the last year, okay, officially it was Navi, but, Spirit was very close to it. And definitely number 1 team right now is not going to win anything till the end of the year. Is going to be countered by me by saying Spirit is going to be the first event they play.
Ooh, okay. So it's like Blast. Is it actually Blast next? Or is it
Pro League?
It's Pro League now, right? It's Pro League now.
I think it's Pro League, right?
Okay.
Pro League,
that's his counter. So, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. So
all right, I like
21, everybody is there except for FaZe, which is, I don't know why. Nobody does, but still, every team is there.
No Astralis, no FaZe. Yeah.
Yeah, Astralis doesn't matter. But FaZe isn't there. The thing is, that's kind of an easier circumstances, I guess, a little bit. But still, Vitality, Navi, everybody else is there.
Yeah.
So my counter to you is that they're going to win Pro League. And I was going to spice it up without losing a single game, but I did that's too much. That's just a bit too much. But they're going to win the whole thing.
Okay.
Listen, I disagree with... I don't know about kassad if they're going to win Pro. That's not a bad one, obviously. There's not many teams I think actually would win it right now. It's a decent one. I disagree with Maui's take. I think they'll win an event or 2 more. I actually think the weirdest thing about the scene is, even though bizarrely I don't disagree with most of the roster moves, it almost is again sort of spread talent out, or if it's consolidated, it hasn't made anyone super elite for some weird reason. I think a lot of the rosters for me haven't ticked over yet. I'm still waiting to see, is this the phases level, or are they going to get 0.25% better? Who the fuck knows on that one? So right now, I think Spirit almost certainly will win another tournament this year. But I will use Maui's angle to do my own hot take. So here's how I'm going to do it. So Maui, when you were saying all that fucking bubkiss that you were just saying there, in the Chinese zodiac, each year has a different animal associated with it. So the last year was the dragon. And here's the key thing. This year is the snake, right? So it's going to be the year of the snake. So you might think, oh, good for Maui, isn't it, in that sense? But when I was looking up what the etymology of why it's the year of the snake is, it said in 2025, the heavenly stem is Yi, and that represents wood, while the earthly branch is Si, representing fire, thus establishing the year Yi Si, which is, in that sense, it says, therefore, individuals born in 2025 would be called wood snake or fire snake or wood fire snake. So here's where it's not always a positive if it's the year of your animal, because that means, I think, that this year, when in Astralis everything's going badly, they're going to go and they're going to consult the spiritual dimension because they've already done the game stuff. They've hired the heroic guy. They've already got Rogger, who used to be around the Danish. They've tried everything, Kassad, to get these Danish players right. They've put together the team I even said a few years ago I wanted, which is the heroic core, but with cadiaN going off the AWP and getting Device into the squad. Like, you've actually even got like a straight fire team. Stairs probably better than any player I would have put as the fifth in that team, you know. I would have put like Config or something ridiculous probably, which would even make sense now. So everything should make sense. So something must be wrong spiritually with this team. So they're going to go and consult a priest, right? The priest's going to tell them, like, listen, you're in Astralis. The things you've done, there is no redemption. You know, you can pray to God, but I don't think he'll forgive you. They'll go to a Voodoo priest. He'll consult the law, these entities. They'll tell him, like, listen, there's no amount of money or, you know, fucking souls at this point in time you can trade. They've already traded them all, and you've already gotten what you've gotten. You can't get any more majors now. You've wasted all that goodwill. They'll even go to a Satanist. He'll consult the devil himself. And then the devil will go, guys, why are you wasting time with him? If you wanted to talk to me, I'm in the CEO's office at all times. Just book an appointment in. It's Nikolai Nyholm. He goes, I did this shit. Why would I help you out? It's my org. Anyway, so they go, fucking hell. So finally, they come to look at this Chinese zodiac because they heard that's Maui's new angle. He's using to spice things up. They look this up and they go, wait a minute. It's the wood snake, the fire snake, wood, fire, snake, fire cadiaN. And they'll fire cadiaN at the end of the first season because he's a snake, and that will actually fix the whole team. At that point in time, you bring someone good Huxley, bring someone who's actually legit in as Danish, it'll all get fixed. So there you go. It was almost shitter than Maui's, but I made it sound good. I did like storytelling style, you know.
Yeah,
I used a little bit of like...
the only aspect.
Yeah, exactly. But I also do...
Aspect.
The serious take is, I actually do think this year they will fire cadiaN. I do not think he will just get to keep failing in this team.
I don't think he...
No, but I think if you're a fan, I think I'd pick the right timing because he won that third place game and he's going, oh, you're not... I think people think that buys him like 6 months or something. I think he's just going to get straight fired. Because I think if you're people like Device, you can't keep sitting like this, mate. This can't be your career. It can't end like this. What it is.
I kind of... The only... I said positive thing was your storytelling in that one because... I actually pictured the priests, the fucking things, and then I remember that I'm a man and I should not be fucking getting imaginary fucking things.
Wait a minute.
Came back to reality.
He's got such a weird perspective on life. What am I doing? Imagining stuff.
What the fuck am I doing?
Turn that part of my brain off. I'm bloody man, aren't I?
Yeah. It just fucking caught you off guard a little. I know. But the bottom line is. There is no amount of soul-saving, divine, or even demonic priests or shamans or whatever that's gonna save Astralis. I think you said it like they got everything they sold their souls for.
Seems like
you know how like you sell your soul at the crossroads, and 10 years later the hellhounds come and collect it. I think they're at that point. Their souls are being collected and going straight to hell. And there is no point of return, the only kind of... I mean, they made their own bet, the ex-players of Heroic, going there. No amount of Huxies, IGLs, or anything will help that team anymore. The only saving grace for them is to just split apart and go to different, organizations, continue their paths and careers in somewhere else. On the point of cadiaN, yes. He will not survive the season. You said a year, but then you corrected yourself.
I think this season, season.
Yeah, so by June, July, that would be the episode that's going to be remembered as one of the worst money-wasting transfers that happened in the CS2 by far. Because they actually paid Liquid to get him, which is fucking unbelievable still to me, that Liquid got that money, and also it was stupid from Liquid to actually buy him and get him there. Because they didn't... Never mind. I'm not going to get into that one. But overall, yes. No amount of voodoo shit would help Astralis at this point. They might as well close their fucking operation. And definitely they should fire cadiaN.
Okay.
Man, I feel like because Astralis has been on such a major drought for 4 majors consecutively now... They're going to make this upcoming major, and I feel like they're going to rest on their laurels already. I feel like they're just, that's kind of what they've shown us in the past that they love to do. That's why they keep people on that probably had no business being on the roster for like 9 months longer, 12 months, 15 months longer than they ever should have been. Like, I feel like they should have fired, they clearly should have gotten rid of Zipnix for a very long time, and I feel like if they don't have to do anything and they can get away with doing the bare minimum to just hit.
He's still on the contract, right?
Zipnix?
On the loan to Mausberg.
Could be.
I'm pretty sure, like...
I'm not sure.
Listen, the information that I got, I don't know if it's like 100% true or not, that he's still on the contract loan to Maus, where Astralis is paying like 80% of his salary and Maus is paying 20.
Sounds
something
plausible.
like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it sounds plausible to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like Astralis. Yeah.
I feel like in the beginning, I did hear something like that. I don't know the duration of it or anything like that. But no, in terms of Astralis and striving for greatness, I just feel like that's not really what they're doing anymore. I just feel like they're the position that they find themselves in. Like, should cadiaN be removed and will he? I just find to be two different questions. Like, the results that they're finding this season and likely to find for the remainder of the year wouldn't are beneath what a team like Astralis and the legacy that they have they should aspire for. But I just don't think that they're an organization now that is aspiring for much more this year than to qualify for both majors. I know that sounds like so beneath them, but like that's just everything I've read in terms of I just feel like they're just not in a position that they're like, and also I just don't think that they really have a lot of faith in Hooksy or like other Danish in-game leaders. Like the last thing that Astralis has shown us is that they put very little faith and a very short leash on up-and-coming players. Like Buzz gets cut immediately. You know, all these guys that showed some promise, but just not enough of instant success, just get cut. So cadiaN's a guy that has a much longer history with being a top competitor. So for me, I just think, I think Astralis are just they're gonna qualify to both majors this year with cadiaN, and they're gonna then assess at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of next year, do we do anything? And I kind of feel like they're going to err towards the no.
Always the next year. It's always the next year. What is the fucking this year? What is
the joke?
That's the org that you would run, but it's not the org Astralis has shown to run.
It's the same joke as people make in the Premier League, kassad, about Arsenal. The problem with Arsenal is it's like Netflix. You're always waiting for next season.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Fucking 7 years of Arteta.
You can use that for Astralis. You can same colours even.
Yeah,
it's all good. Right, here's the thing though, Maui. I don't want to hear any of that, which is why I wish I'd been wearing my Raycon everyday earbuds while you gave that whole take, because they have the active noise cancellation, which is capable of drowning out even the most maddening of sounds. So, by the way, they literally do work on babies on planes. If you're at the gym and you don't want to hear all the people around you talking about whatever nonsense, if you're at work, you want to concentrate, take a phone call when you're on public transport. They have premium audio wherever you go. Their newest model's better than ever. It has 32-hour battery life, which is mega. It means basically you don't have to charge it every single day and religiously remember to put it on. Otherwise, you're going to be drained when you're traveling and out of the house, etc. Has multi-point connectivity, so you can have two devices attached at once. Also, if you do forget to charge it, it has the quick charge function, so just 10 minutes worth of charging is actually worth 90 minutes worth of battery, which will get you a lot of different places. And the problem usually with these sorts of headsets or headphones is they're super expensive. Not in the case of Raycon, actually. They start at just half the price of other premium audio brands with similar features, so I thought they were actually excellent. They come in, if you're not like a boomer like me, because they come in a million different colours. If you want, I don't know if a liking colours is allowed to, as a man and adult. I haven't checked the handbook of kassad yet, the rules of the game. I'm not sure how they work. But anyway, they do come in all those. And if you don't like them, they've got a 30-day happiness guarantee return policy, no questions asked. So if you'd like to get some lovely Raycons with a nice discount and support our show, go to buyraycon.com/hottake, all one word, to get 20% off the best-selling everyday earbuds. Brought to you by Raycon. That is, of course, buyraycon.com/hottake, all one word. Thanks to Raycon. Thanks to everyone who buys those things. Let us know if you do buy them. What do you like to use the active noise cancellation for? How long do you have to charge it normally to get where you're going? Let us know in the comments. Right, thank you. Anyway, do we have another hot take, guys? Is there another one for the show? Maui, do you have one?
I got one. It's more about
a
tournament, and I feel like this TO, they always ask for their feedback thread at the end of every single event on Reddit. I'm going to tell you right now, this is better than your Reddit effing feedback thread. This is just reality. Like
we said, effing.
Okay.
Like we are all fucking family show.
I'll just say.
What the fuck are you doing?
ESL Pro League has completely lost its identity as a product. It's just completely lost. It does not know the tone that it wants to set anymore. It needs to completely change what the actual tournament is here now, because you can't go with this kind of jovial, joking broadcast when the games actually matter all the time.
Oh, I see what you mean, right.
Yeah, it's not, it's like the problem, the thing is that ESL Pro League was almost self-deprecating in nature because it was a 5-week
It was supposed
program.
to be like a meme tournament almost, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and they almost made a joke of the fact that, yes, we are just farming watch hours by having 5 weeks of tier.
And it was like
CS,
triple elimination or whatever the fuck. It was not the craziest format of all time. A massive playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, it was like I mean, it was just a total joke in terms of the gravitas of the games. But now, because there's VRS implications and
I see what you mean,
it's now just 2 weeks.
Right.
It's just 2 weeks now. Like you can't really the second game, third game is like life or death for these teams already.
True.
And it matters too much. So the idea to go with like a joking, a tongue-in-cheek broadcast when also, by the way, many of these teams aren't even in the VRS, and it's their only chance to get points. Like, for example, like these teams are battling their fucking brains out. Okay, like they're trying so hard now because a lot of these teams came from ESL Challenger League, and this is their only chance on a LAN to get VRS points. And so it's not just some joke of like, we'll see Rooster next season again, because they always make it through. It's like, there's very few opportunities for any of these teams now. So if you're going with like a tongue-in-cheek style, it just doesn't work over a 2-week period because the tournament ramps up too quickly. So like, I don't know how week 2 can maintain any of the spirit of what ESL Pro League showed us. And by the way, like, I think the product for EPL for the last 3 seasons was pretty entertaining and refreshing, but I just don't think that it makes any sense now in a tournament that's as long as Cluj-Napoca, because now you're basically running a tournament that should have an arena component at the end of it with the quality of teams that are there and the amount of teams that are there. But if you're just going to do like, it's a studio and we're all like, who cares about this tournament? It's like, well, then why am I even watching?
Hey. Well, the thing is, like, first of all, I see you brought your dictionary, like slang dictionary. You keep saying some fucking phrases that I have no idea
like
what the fuck they're like tongue in cheek and knee jerk and what the fuck does that even mean? Like
tongue in cheek just means it's in
tongue in cheek means you're being silly. You're not being serious. And knee jerk is just like, when you hit the leg with the doctor hits your muscle on your leg and your leg goes out. It's like that. You just do a reaction instantly. You don't think about it. It just happens spontaneously when the thing happens to you.
So it's like impulsive, like
sort of. That'll do.
My a way to put it, my tongue in cheek. My tongue-in-cheek takes elicit knee-jerk reactions from you, kassad.
Like mine, tongue-in-cheek. Like, what does that fucking mean?
He's right.
It's like when I'm talking. If I'm talking and my tongue's in my cheek, it's like I'm kind of like I'm being silly.
Trolling.
He nailed it. His tongue-in-cheek takes elicit knee-jerk reactions from you, kassad. So keep your hair on, get it together, and fucking.
I get it, but it's kind of stupid. But whatever. Where was I? Yes, Pro League.
Idioms.
Pro League.
Yeah.
What do I think about it? I don't know.
I
get Maui's point. I get Maui's point. I 100%. I agree with it. For the most part.
But get ready.
Actually, no, there is no but. There is no but.
Okay.
I was also watching because I was watching the at the same time Dream League ESL Dota event, right? And I see guys fucking wearing some Renaissance fucking fair clothes, doing some fucking dances. The big phones are ringing. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I understand a little bit of entertainment, right? Like, I do tend to like have a different type of broadcast when it's an IEM and when it's a Pro League. In the last few seasons, when it didn't matter so much, yes, it was fine. Right now, maybe they could change. They should change it. Actually, they should change it definitely into something more. Not. I don't know if the serious is a better word, but I don't know. Less. What is the word? Less goofy. Is that a girly word? I think that's a
girly word.
No, goofy works. Goofy works.
Yeah. Maybe also at the same time, the seriousness of broadcast doesn't really affect your game style or gameplay.
Okay.
Because people that are watching, if they're fighting for life and death, they don't watch the broadcast at the same time they're playing.
Okay.
So that doesn't really affect the teams at all. If it affects you as a viewer that expects something serious, because it's the world rankings and whatnot, like, big event, a lot of money, no arena, that should be arena for the event like this, then I can understand if it's like more people like you thinking the same, which I think over time will happen. I think more people will realize. I think ESL will realize, all right, we cannot do this like this anymore. We need to change it into something different, right? Into something more serious, something more, what is the fucking word? Appropriate to the level of event, right? Now, if they're going to do that, I don't fucking never know with ESL what the fuck are they going to do. Like, tomorrow they can just put all events like this, and just do it. But I get the take completely. I agree with it. I don't think it's so hot, but I think you are on the point when it comes to that. I think it's a little bit kind of off track considering the importance of the event and what does it bring to the teams, and the fact that can qualify them to the next things that can potentially qualify them to major and all these things. Maybe the unseriousness in the broadcast can be a little bit too much for somebody who's came here to watch more dramatic matches, more hyped, tensed, whatever matches. It still bothers me that there is no trash talking, there is no fucking anything going on between these teams. There just might be fucking holding their hands and dancing for from now on, because it's so shit. Nobody's like yelling at anybody. Nobody's like, trash talking anybody. Nobody's doing anything. It's so boring for watching. Like, it's boring like shit. But yeah, that's where we are right now.
I agree with the take. I do think the problem is that they haven't thought what is the identity of Pro League, and they haven't transitioned it. They've just come down between the two positions. Because I agree with you. Before, the reason it sort of worked to have that style is, one, as far as I know, it was actually people like Chad who wanted to make it like, look, since we're going to be in Malta all these weeks and weeks and weeks, let us have fun with it. Let us make this the event where we can sort of let loose and we don't have to like get production to do everything for us, etc. So as far as I know, they came up with a lot of the fun, different things that they used to do with props and stuff like that, which is a good idea, by the way. The less important the matches, the more you should actually just let the talent free to just do whatever the fuck. That's why most of the funniest segments that me and Richard ever did was just when it was a dog shit game or teams that no one gives a fuck about, or there was a million tech pauses, and if you'd actually just done a straight analysis, it would just be a bad analysis because no one cares about the game. But the problem is, I agree with you, they've gone in between now, because if you tune in, especially, by the way, look, the usual offenders, if you tune in and hear Machine and Chad when it's a game that wasn't that important, they're going to do some little skit like the one where they had the person just do the fucking observing without them doing the casting. If you do, the obvious other ones is when Henry gets together with like Harry and Hugo, they're all going to go on some weird tangent and do some funny angle and stuff. Though I agree with you, though, it doesn't really make as much sense when it's like, no, these are like real matches. And actually for some of these teams, like if they lose this game here, you just won't see them at the rest of the tournaments. Like this is like their RMR boys. And remember, here's another thing, by the way, Maui, it literally is the RMR for these teams. Like to get to the majors is going to be really hard now. People keep forgetting you come through the circuit. So when people bomb and fail tournaments now, that's like you've gone down 0-2 in the RMR, and like you're facing your last chance to get anywhere. So yeah, the sad thing is it's going to take us a long time, I can tell you, because I told you the actual analogy for me is like the tennis rankings, where you have to know what the last 52 weeks were and what point someone's almost protecting that. Because essentially, like if you don't know the difference between these matches, you don't really know like actually the implication for the rest of the circuit. Like it's not just how high did you place. It also matters like LAN wins and things like that. So yeah, it all adds up. And I agree, they haven't really figured it out, because what I don't get is the reason why every other ESL works, every other ESL event works, is notice the framing in the Swiss or the group stage in every ESL event is, can you make the arena? The arena is the prestige. Yeah. Everyone wants to be there. You want your family to see you there. That also doesn't exist for this event. This event isn't built as like it's a big arena event at the end and it's super hype. So I'm actually a bit more lost myself. Like what I like about Pro League is you just get to see a lot of games. So you get to see a lot of like matchups between people. But I agree, I don't really know what's the tagline for Pro League? What is it? What are they supposed to be thinking I'm getting out of it? What's the selling point aside from like in theory almost everyone's here? That's it. Because I agree, it's going to end up still being thought of as like a less important event. I don't really know where they're going on it, mate.
The tagline now should just be like the best teams in the world, a lot of matches, low pressure.
Okay,
like that's just a weird, but that doesn't sell a tournament. In fact, the more compelling part of ESL Pro League to me in some way is actually watch the teams that never get a chance throughout the entire year make it through ECL and now have a chance at a tier 1 LAN, even if it's a studio. I mean, not the sexiest tagline, but you know what I mean? Like Tai Lu at this tournament has actually just suddenly climbed the rankings dramatically because they were able to beat 2 European teams, or who did they beat? They beat either way, they beat 2 higher ranked teams, and they almost just beat Gamer Legion, went 3-0. Like that in itself is probably going to end up being the best story of Pro League. Like even if like Spirit or Vitality or Navi win it, it's like, you know, we kind of know that one of those teams in that upper echelon is likely to do it. Maybe we get a surprise story for someone that goes deep, but like I think the Tyloo story is already the most compelling thing of this whole season, and some of the games are just kind of like, well, actually, I think the casters have done a good job, but like, you know, they fall into the trap sometimes with these like other random games where it's just like, what's the theme? What's the tone of this?
Okay. By the way, I won't do a big hot take, but if I was to give you like a free miniature hot take that you could, okay, I can take that home with me. The obvious one would be this: where the fuck did anyone have Tyloo ranked in their brain before this tournament? Spoiler: think about what they already have done vis-a-vis Imperial Valkyries. In fact, you know what the hot take would be? Would be if I sent Imperial Valkyries to the fucking Asia RMR, would they even make top 4? Another one. He's just fucking...
It will be dead low.
Yeah, it's like fucking clay pigeon shoot. Got it straight out the chute, mate. Straight away.
It'll be 100% dead low. 100%.
Yeah. Luckily, we'll never have to try that experiment.
Put money on it.
Yeah, we'll never try that experiment, so it's all good.